Yeah,
Yes?
Yesy?
Yeah, Yesy.
Yetsy. Okay, perfect. So what we're gonna do here is basically we just gonna do straight up just like a raw interview, and you guys just recently closed your first deal, right?
No. So the reason that I had reached out to you is because when a long time ago, I wanted to get into wholesaling, but my first ever introduction of it was your TikTok videos.
Okay.
So I had no idea what it was. We were doing GC work, general contract work with her father. So we were going door to door. Well, mind you, she's 21, I'm 22.
Okay.
Right? So we were going door to door and we were selling like home improvement stuff like windows, AC, gardening stuff. And then I started thinking, well, I mean, if we make a few $100s, you know, if I sell windows,
right?
Or I can make a few thousand if I'm going door to door selling houses.
Okay.
And I started, you know, looking up, well, it's going to take 6 to 8 months to get my real estate license, but I need to make money now. So what was the quickest way to make money in real estate? Wholesaling. And it was wholesaling. But you were the very first video that I ever saw about wholesaling. So that sparked my interest into it. And then we just dove in. And we had done our wholesale deals, but the biggest ones have been most recently. And I'm so proud of it because I had the idea that I was going to show Khang one day.
Nice.
But I was going to show him something, you know, big.
Yeah.
I was going to show something big. Not only did I learned well, you know,
I love it.
That was the idea.
Dude, I love it, man. And I want to say congrats to both of you. This is awesome. So when you say big, bro, how much is the most recent deal?
The most recent deal was of 140,000.
Oh my God, 140 G's.
Yeah. So that in the month of October, mind you, we don't have a team. It's only me and her. There's no VAs, there's no TC work. It's just straight up me and her. In October, we did 240,000 in assignments.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. $240,000 in assignment in 1 month.
In 1 month. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'll give you the breakdown. The smallest one was 22,500.
Okay.
The biggest one was 140. And then the other ones were 30 and 50. So
wait, so this month you guys are on track to do what, 140 plus 22 plus another 35, you said?
Yeah, in October is what we closed.
Okay. So what about this month? What you just got going?
I believe we're on track to close 60 so far.
40? Yeah, 40,000 in January will be our closings.
Man, you guys can take 2 years off if you wanted to, but you guys hustle out.
Yeah. So it's just we were so excited to do this, right? And I was like, I'm gonna show something that was sizable. And I mean, you saw the one that I had sent you on the DM. But yeah, it's been a phenomenal grind, and I'm just super glad that I get to do it with her.
Yeah, and same here.
Well, first off, I want to say congrats, and I want to say that you guys make a great team. It seems like you guys are killing it, like a power couple. I love it, man. So let's talk about this, dude, because with all these numbers, when did you guys discover wholesaling?
We discovered it when we were door knocking for her father, right? Sure. So then it came on the TikTok videos, and that was you. So then I started, we went into it, and then I started trying to go to real estate offices, and I would say, hey, so I'm getting my license, but I know how to do this. Is there anyone here that can help me, that can teach me, that my services could be of value? And everyone just kept shoving me off. No, get your license, come back, get your license, come back. And then I started trying to buy like foreclosure lists off of the HUD websites.
Yep.
Because we're in the California market. So I would show up and I would knock doors and I would dress up, as best as I could. And I'd say, hey, I see that you might be in foreclosure. Do you want a cash offer for your property? And then people would slam the door and cuss me out, and it just wasn't going well. So then I started trying to make offers on market properties through agents. So then I called an agent, and I was like, hey, so I'm willing to offer $400,000. And mind you, his house was listed for 600,000.
Yeah.
He's like, how old are you? 19. He's like, and you want to offer $200,000 under my list price? Yes. He's like, are you an agent? No. He's like, do you have any money? No. And then he said, so how are you going to do it? I was like, well, I'm going to figure it out. That's why I'm trying to do something here. He's like, well, kid, I'm going to be honest. You have no idea what you're doing. But I respect that you're so young and you're cold calling me and that you're trying to make it happen. So come to my office. And then we showed up at his office. He's like, be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. And I showed up again at 8 a.m. I'm all suited. I'm ready. I'm going to make, it's going to go crazy. It's going to happen.
Right.
And then he shows up like an hour and a half late, scrunched up shirt. And he's like, oh, you actually showed up. And I was like, yeah, I've been here for hours now. And he's like, okay, cool. So I'm going to break it down for you. I know what you do is very valuable. And then he set us up with a gentleman who essentially taught us the ground basics of what it was to wholesale and cold call. Yeah.
Nice. Got it. Okay. So basically, so you guys got like kind of hands-on training, right?
In a way, kind of, but
okay.
We had to kind of put everything together in order to get to where we are. We asked a lot of questions to a lot of different agents, investors, and really just try to piece it together.
Got it. Okay. So, what year did you guys discover? I guess that's the next question. Because I want people to understand that, things like this just don't just happen overnight.
Right.
Yeah.
So we started it the year of the pandemic. So 2020?
I would say middle of 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
So
August 2020.
Okay. Got
right?
it. So August of 2020. And when and how long from that moment did it took you to close your first deal? 11
months.
See that? So that's why I want people to like really, really understand, like, I don't want to lead people into, the whole like get rich and selling them like a fantasy, because most people come in and be like, oh man, oh my gosh, they're making 240K. Oh my gosh. Like, oh my God, I'm going to do that in the next, 60 days, 90 days. It's not. It takes time.
No. So here's the thing. We made the mistake of not having a qualified teacher, right? We thought that we could YouTube University piece it together and mistake after mistake. And, we were basically, you'd get a lead, you'd get this far, and then you'd make a mistake.
Right.
Then learn from that mistake a little bit more, and then it would fall apart again because of another mistake.
Right.
But yeah, it took 11 months of trying to systemize the process and learn who to call, what to say, how to negotiate, the offers, the proof of funds, the buyers, the dispo. It took months until we got to that first one.
We think if maybe we had a mentor at the time, it would have been a little bit more simple for us.
Yeah.
But from taking it from nothing to something, it was 11 months.
Gotcha. I love it. Okay. So, and how much was your guys' first deal?
So the deal that we had done came after we had gone broke, right? So we had lent out the money to our original mentor, right, in good faith, and found out very quickly that was a poor idea.
Okay.
Because the money that we had lent out was not used for good purposes. So we were left. She was negative
about $300 in my account.
Yeah, and then I was negative like $200 in the account. Dang. So the way the story goes is I like a dog puts his tail in between his legs. I told my parents, I said, hey, I made a mistake. I lent out the money. It was my savings and it did not go well. So I don't have that money anymore. I made a bad call. And my dad said, okay, so what happened? What do you need? And I said, okay, this is how we're going to do it. I need $500 and I'll figure it out. He's like, $500, $500. That's all we'll need.
We just needed $300 for both of our dialers. and then $200 for the list, and we'll just hammer it out until we got something.
That's all it turned into. So it was $300 for a dialer, $200 in data, and we just cold calling 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Until someone said, I said, hey, are you looking to sell your house? And he said, you know what? I've been waiting on one of you people to call me.
And we only had about a week left of our subscription for iDialer. Right. So it hit just on time.
Wow. Yeah. And he said, you know, I've been waiting for one of you people to call me. Yeah, I got divorced. I left the house. I live in another state now. If you can get me $110,000 for the property, I'll sell it to you today. And I was in shock. I had gone all that time without hearing a single yes or negotiating my way into a successful close. That when that happened, I was like, what did he just say? That's so crazy. Yeah.
I had to look at him like, continue, come on.
Yep. And I was like, okay, so this is, and I explained to him how the offers work, what the process was. And I sent the contract, he signed. That was as far as I had gotten in that current moment. And then she was typing up all the offers and DocuSign. And we hadn't even paid for a DocuSign subscription because we didn't have anything in the pipeline. Right. And then I called someone from a Bandit sign.
Okay.
I said, hey, I know you buy houses cash. This is the time. And he said, sure. What are you asking for it? And I said, 120,000. And he said, that should work. That should work. And then we just put the deal together, escrow, and everything went smoothly. And then 2 weeks later, it closed for a $10,000 profit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a whole thing. It was a whole mission and a half to get to that point. But had it not been for that $500 investment, you know, I feel like a lot of people have a misconception. Oh, I need a lot of money to get into real estate. I need to do, I need to put a lot into it.
Right.
It was $500 and just cold calling 8 to 8 every day, showing up and trying to make it happen. And it turned into $10,000.
I love it. I mean, you guys represent persistence, obviously, just like hustling, grinding, and just not giving up. And, you know, looking back at Lon and I stories, I can totally relate to you guys right now going through that. And I remember, you know, I would get off work and then I would come home and I'll sit in my computer and I would handwrite letters to expired listings. And I would sit there from 9 p.m. until like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. And then the next day I got to go to the jail to be at like 5 o'clock a.m. So my question now to you is that when you started, do you guys just went at this full time, or was this like,
full time?
Full time.
Okay.
So I had dropped out of college because I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. Okay. And at the time I was working at a Stater Brothers, and then because my dad had unfortunately passed away, so we weren't able to work with him anymore.
Sure.
So then he was like, hey, look, we could do this. Like, we really could. And I was like, okay, well, I've always had faith in you from the very beginning of our relationship. So I will drop out of college and I will quit my job. Let's do it. Yeah.
And then I had some money saved up from when we were working with her dad, right? From the sales that we had done. I had that saved up. And then eventually we ran out of it, right? Out of my savings, out of her savings. And then we were doing door-to-door. We were DoorDash and Instacart to like deliver food to get money back. Yep. And then in between that, I was donating plasma.
Yes.
To keep it going. You know? So it's literally blood, sweat, and tears that
went into this,
brought it to the close.
God damn. I want to say once again, man, I mean, listen to you guys' stories pump me up, right? And I hope everyone that's watching this, like, this give you the hope, the faith, the belief, the confidence in yourself that you too can do this. I mean, just listening to their stories, going from like negative to like $240,000 in 1 month. Dude, that's absolutely insane. And one thing I can tell you, bro, dude, she's a keeper, man. I mean,
most definitely.
Bro, like, dude, those types of girl doesn't even exist anymore.
No, I am extremely blessed. I'm very lucky. She is a unit. She is a powerhouse, and I would not be here. I would not do it without her. So
basically, I don't know if you ever seen the other cat. He was trying to describe how, he was trying to describe like the ideal woman. So they would call you, yes, they would call you the unicorn, which means it's extinct. It's like, it's like, so he was describing the level of how pretty they are versus how crazy they are. So they're saying if you get to the point where they're pretty, but they're not crazy, dude, you found like a unicorn, bro. It doesn't exist, right? But anyways, dude, I want to say that you guys are absolutely, I would call like the American dreams, right? Going from nothing to like building like an empire right now. So what I want to dive in now is that what are you guys currently doing right now? So it's just you don't have a team, but what kind of systems, what kind of things that you guys got going on right now that's working for you? What list you're targeting? What software you're using?
Sure. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I'm really organized. So we have a CRM, and that consistently has everything flowing, making sure that we're on top of every deal that's coming in.
Nice.
And then
yeah, I would say staying true to the basics. You know, your undeniables every day. Cold calling always for a certain amount of hours, and then making sure at the beginning we were trying to run it through, you know, like written out leads and trying to keep it together. And then it turned into spreadsheets, and then spreadsheets turned into her actual CRM, which is organized with tags and follow-ups and schedules. And then bettering the buyer pool, right? Because a lot of people focus on, oh, I'm going to contact more sellers, market to sellers, do this to sell, you know, and yes, leads are great, but until you can sell your deals to the right people, that's when you maximize your profits. So going to network events, staying organized, the cold calling, the CRM, keep an organizational tool is key. And then we recently hired one person. By recently, I mean today is her first day. Who will be helping us in the managerial roles of the business.
Yeah, I love it. So, you know, one thing that you said that I want everybody to understand, like you guys should have seen when I first started, just exactly like you guys, everything was on a notebook. I would have pile of notebooks of addresses, and it was just to the point where it was everywhere. I'm not organized. Lon is organized. So I'm like, dude, I am like unorganized. I'm always late to appointments. Lon is always 15 to 20 minutes early. On time is late to Lon. But yeah, so it's over time, gradually, like you build, people get into the business. I think that they're too focused on getting fancy. Oh, I got to get the system. I got to get all of this. Dude, you need to get on the phone. Like you need to talk to prospect. You need to prospect, right? You need to focus on like what's important. So too many of them get all caught up on like, you know, the systems, the dialers, the getting VAs, getting all of the teams. Dude, you get all of that when you start making income coming in, and then you just progress and grow and then start leveling up. And go ahead.
Yeah, we recently didn't get a system up until maybe a year ago. So it was like, you know, 2 years in, and then we got a system, but we were going through spreadsheets, and then we started figuring out that deals are falling through because of the spreadsheets.
Yeah, you know, you check back on the leads, and it's like, oh, he ended up selling not to me, but someone else.
Yeah.
So
correct.
That was a hard truth. Also, investing in ourselves, right? Because at first you work so hard for the money, you don't want the money to go away, and you think you can push forward, right? But investing in something that could have helped would have been better.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, my next question to you guys is like, what is working for you guys right now in today's market? Like, what kind of marketing strategy are you guys doing?
So for marketing strategies, I mean, all we do is cold call. Okay. So our main focus right now is in the properties that are 65 plus homeowners with 2-story properties.
Oh,
yeah, that and higher price point neighborhoods with less mobility, right? Oh. So where the market is slower, right, but price points are higher.
Got it. Okay. And what price point are you guys targeting?
anything 700K or above.
Okay. So what is your guys' average assignment fee?
I think we did the calculation.
30. Yeah, 30 is the average assignment now.
30K?
30, 32 and change. Yeah.
Okay,
30.
nice. Now, so what will you guys be bringing this year?
390.
Dang, from negative 300 to so going from a negative $300 in your bank account to now 390,000 in 1 year.
Yeah.
Bro, that's gonna be like my really good pitch at the beginning of the video.
Yeah.
Dude, awesome. So a lot of cold calling. So you guys are doing cold calling. You guys do any SMS, any direct mail, any PPC?
That's her question.
Yeah, so we do emails.
Okay.
Yeah, and then SMS follow-up. So I have
email.
Yeah, so emails to certain criteria of sellers.
Okay.
So we email them, and then for a follow-up campaign for all the leads that we already have, it's just kind of like an SMS follow-up.
Got it. Okay. And how many cold call? How many cold call do you guys do per day?
So
on average,
if we break it up, right? Because I'm trying to keep the KPIs in order this time.
Yes.
If we cold call from 8 to 12, hour lunch break, and then 1 to 3, 1 to 4. So we try and knock out an undeniable 6 hours a day, right? And we use the Mojo, right? So Mojo has the 3-person dialer.
Nice.
Whitelisting the phone numbers through the dialer to make sure you don't get spammed.
Nice.
And then roughly 35 to 45 in contacts, person to person, where you're actually on the phone.
Sure.
And then once you get to 65 to 70 leads where someone actually says they want to have a conversation and want to sell their house, roughly 1 deal out of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so 6 hours of cold calling for 45 contacts for 1 to 2 leads for every 50 to 60 contacts. And then for every actual lead, once you have 65 to 70 leads is 1 deal.
Nice. Okay, so who is doing all the cold calling right now?
Both of us.
We both do.
Okay, 6 hours or 8 hours a day?
Yeah.
Between 6, 6+. Yeah, we try and keep it an undeniable 6+.
So what is your guys' game plan now? Because I'm sure that you guys don't want to be grinding 6 to 8 hours a day pounding the phone. So so my question is, how are you guys going to level up and actually remove yourself? Because I think you have enough capital now to really scale this thing up and actually turn this into a business. The reason I point this out is because I think a lot of people that gets into wholesaling or just any business, but let's just talk about wholesaling real estate, is that they're able to escape the J or the B, but then they actually own another one. So basically they don't own a business. All you do is you own a job. Nobody can fire you, but you're the first one there. You're the last one to leave. And you're the one who's doing all the day-to-day tasks, and you're putting in a ton of hours. It's now your guys' next thing is, how can I remove myself, continue the income coming in? When you start to remove yourself, you are going to feel a slowdown, right? You are going to feel the slowdown, but once you get everything dialed in, I promise you, it'll take off like a rocket. And now you're working on your business instead of in your business. You'll be making more the same or more money, but working less hours, and you're able to focus on other things that's going to generate you guys even bigger incomes.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have, first off, I want to say that with wholesaling, most people that gets into the game, majority will quit before they actually close their first deal. Yeah. Some will actually close their first deal and they do 1 or 2 deals a year. It's extremely rare to get to find someone that actually do consistently even just 1 deal a month, or even someone that actually an entrepreneur. They're stuck at that 1 man, 1 woman show and never really actually become a business owner. Because you got to go from a hustler, because right now you guys are hustling. To go from a hustler to a business owner, there's going to be a different skill set, like leaderships, hire people, train people, putting the systems and all that in place. So let me give you guys. So I want to take some time and just give you a few pointers. What CRM are you guys currently using right now?
So currently we're using Wise Agent.
Okay, how's that going?
It went really well. I mean, that helped us a lot. But now I'm thinking of transitioning into something more wholesale friendly because that one is more realtor friendly.
I got you. So there is one that I use. I'll leave the link in the description. You guys want to check them out. You guys can use my affiliate link. They'll take care of you. REI Shift.
REI Shift.
Yeah, dude, I'll leave the link. This CRM is so badass. I mean, Lon and I have tried so many different ones. For those of you who's new into the game, you got no money, then Podio will be the place. Podio is free. It's a starting point. But if you got the capital to invest, this CRM, bro, is like everything into one. Like you don't even have to leave the platform. The automation setup, the dialing, everything just happening in that one platform. It just keeps everything much organized and just you know, 60-70% of our deals coming from follow-up. So
right.
like I'm sure you guys know that too. So making sure that you have a good follow-up systems and keep track of all the leads, making sure everything is organized, is going to help you guys scale up a lot. And when you do scale up, right, everything is still organized. Yeah. Now, my next question to you is that you said that you just hired someone. What is that person? What is their role?
So her role is going to be in the managerial aspect of it because it's a large numbers game, right? Mm-hmm. So someone who can be in charge of writing offers, contacting sellers, finding potential buyers in certain markets. So trying to put that onto a different individual so that we can continue prospecting. I wanted to ask and explore the idea of how VAs affect your system and how that increases lead flow.
Yep, absolutely. So my next question to you is, what do you guys spend majority of your time doing in the business? What is taking up a lot of your time? Like, I think I know what it is already, that you feel like that you can actually get someone to do it.
Cold calling.
Prospecting, correct?
Yeah,
prospecting, yeah.
So basically, whether they're taking incoming call or outbound call, that's probably take obviously the 6 to 8 hours of your day, right?
Right. So
my whole thing, man, the first positions that I would hire is someone for you guys. It'll be like one. It's like an admin. An admin is someone who pulls the list, skips trades the list, right? Mm-hmm. They can work part-time, right? Maybe you only hire them. Like anybody can do that. A VA can simply do that. All right. So an admin can start out with a part-time, right? Check your email, check everything, pull the list, skip trace the list, right? Or maybe look at your guys' schedule, all that. So that VA can be like, $4 to $5 an hour, part-time. So the next thing I hire, bro. So my whole entire company runs with 7 VAs, right? So we do about, I think roughly this year, we're averaging about, I would say like 140 or so a month. But we got a team of 7 VAs, so my overhead is like pretty low. I spend a majority of my money probably on like marketing. Mm-hmm. So we got 7 VAs, and here's how my teams kind of lay out, dude. So the next position I hire typically is a cold caller, right? So I call them the lead manager. Whether they're taking income call or they're making outbound call, those are your lead manager. Once you hire this person, dude, because all 3 of us know what takes the most time out of all day is actually, digging through the dirt, right? Finding that diamonds, basically, skimming out all the no's, all the BS, and finding that one seller that say, hey, yes, I want to get an offer. So the VA can do that. They can filter and qualify the lead for you, but you got to, so you now take the time to train them. Mm-hmm. And I would not just, and this is the mistake that Lon and I make that, dude, this is going to save you guys hundreds of thousands, is that once you train them up, you don't just let them go and do their thing, but make sure all the phone calls recorded and you got to listen. You got to audit their call, bro. You guys got to make sure you audit their call. You got to stay on top of your business. Everybody wants to plug and play and then escape. Dude, it doesn't happen like that. It will happen over time. But when you first start out, because people are like, oh, VA are cheap. I'm paying them, $4 an hour, $5 an hour. They're cheap. Well, let me tell you something. They're not cheap. And let me explain to you why. And it doesn't even have to be VA. It could even be a U.S. employee. What they can cost you, it's called opportunity costs. So if they don't know what they're doing because you're not a good leader, because you don't train, you just like get them on, you go off, you're like, oh my God, I got a cold caller now, I'm good. And then what happened is they cost you opportunity costs because one, they don't know what they're doing. You don't audit their calls, so you don't know if what they're saying is right or wrong, right? So you don't know what to train them on, and you just kind of let them do their thing. So they could have missed out on a deal that could cost you $10,000. In this case, it'll be an average about $30,000. So I say they're not cheap, right? Because it costs you opportunity costs. So they're not cheap. Any employee that you don't train correctly, they're not cheap. If they end up costing you $30,000 when it could have been you or whoever it is that know what they're doing and locking that deal up on a contract.
Yeah.
So before I make sure I audit their call throughout the entire day, right? And that's why I also tell people, it's like when you first start out, I get people be like, hey, Khang, can I hire VA to do the cold calling? Right? The answer is absolutely yes, you can. But the problem is how are you going to train them? If you never closed a deal before, if you never talked to a seller before, like how do you know what to train them on? Like you need to know the in and out of your business. Because if you don't know what to do, how can you train someone to do it? So to me, is everybody wants that lazy thing, right? The plug and play, dude. Like building a business is not lazy. You can't just sit back.
Yeah.
Right. So I've had this concern towards, I guess, reflowing into the business, right? Because up until this point, it's only been me and her, and that's all we do 24/7.
Sure.
So when do you know, or what steps would you personally follow towards stepping away from the two-man show right now?
Sure. So basically, I would plug and play one at a time.
Right.
So which means now.
So
right, go ahead.
So again, that's also my concern is when do you know how far up to scale, right? Because yes, effectively now money is available to scale.
Yep.
But when do we know the difference between one VA wasn't enough, but 5 was too many, and now we don't know, or one dispo manager and one admin was too little. We actually needed 2, that's my concern.
So, dude, this is a very, very good questions. And a lot of time people don't understand, oh, Khang, I got 100 G's, I got 200 G's sitting on the side. But if you don't know what you're doing, I promise you, you're going to blow through it extremely quick. And this happens to me when we're trying to grow too fast, too quick. It's slow and steady that wins the race. The people that jump in and think that, oh, I got some cash here, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to start leveraging this thing and scale it. I promise you, that 100K, you think it's a lot, but it's going to go by like that, right? So, and how do I know? Mistakes. Lon, I do everything that you guys have gone through. Lon, I have made all the mistakes. The whole thing, want to go fast, same thing. So what you do is the last position that you want to hire at, the last position that you want to let go is the acquisition. I call them the purchase manager. This is the person that gets on the phone, man, that locked the property in the contract. This is extremely important. So that was the last position that I hired out. I did that for a long, long time because obviously that's what bring home right. I mean, that's what bring home the money. So I typically what I do is I hire a lead manager. So in your guys' position, that's the next position that I would hire, a lead manager, someone who just goes on, you train them, right? And then the next one is I would hire what's called a transactional coordinator. And maybe that's the person that you hire already,
right?
Or maybe you have different names. So when I say transactional coordinator, and I think some people call them disposition, this is the people that, let's just say your lead manager, filter all the leads and boom, got a deal for you. Now it goes to you, bro, right? You're the purchase manager. You're going to lock the property in the contract. Then now that property under contract is going to go to your transactional coordinator. That person's their job is to market the deal, contact the title company, set up the showing, right? Try and get the buyer and moving that towards closing.
Right.
And they will reach out to you if there's an issue. Right. So for me, I'll plug in the lead manager, I'll plug in the transaction coordinator, and then the position as the purchase manager, I'll still be there. And until you feel like, hey, you know what? So that would take 6 to 8 hours off your plate. Because as we know, there's not a whole lot of leads that you got to call back and actually lock up, right? So you probably work maybe at this time, I don't know, man, 2, 3, 4 hours a day, max. And then the next thing to scale it up, right? You'll be like, okay, well, now we need to increase more lead coming in.
Right.
So you're going to, before you increase your marketing, I would put a person in place.
Okay.
So don't just like, hey, it's time for us to scale it up and then put 5 Gs. Let's just say that right now you're spending 3,000 in marketing. You don't just now, hey, let's amp it up. Let's go 6,000 when you don't have the manpower. That's the problem. So Lon and I, we were trying to scale where we dumping, you know, we put so much money in marketing and then we got all these leads that comes in, but the VA, we didn't have enough manpower to take on all these leads. So we were losing left and right.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to scale your team up until you be like, yep, they're good. We can now increase our marketing. So which means now you're probably going to increase more. I think the more, when you scale, it's probably going to be based on your marketing costs and probably on the lead manager. So you're probably going to need more of those people to filter the lead for you. And until you get to the point, dude, you be like, hey, you know what? I need a purchase manager to help me out. Right? When you feel like there's just too much on your plate, that's when you feel like, hey, now I need to get someone on. But when you do hire a purchase manager, make sure that person has some kind of a sales background. Because it's extremely hard to get someone that has no sales background. They just don't know how to like sales. It's better to turn someone that actually have somewhat of an experience that are good on the phone.
Right.
And actually teach them how to close now.
Okay.
Much easier. Okay.
Got it.
But
cool. Thank you for the insight. Yeah,
dude. But that's exactly what I do if I were in your guys' positions. Scale slowly and then remove yourself slowly. Make sure you have a solid systems, solid teams, everything flow. You feel like, hey, we got a good hang of this. We got to, it doesn't require much. And then you just scale slowly as you go. That's the best way to do it.
Okay.
Don't rush, because when you rush, it's when you're going to make so much mistake that it's hard to unwind. It's almost like you starting to tangle things dude, it's really hard to untangle. It's just slowly, one at a time. And I promise you, you will get there you'll get there faster and much more profitable.
Right.
Because when you get yourself in a mess and trying to untangle that mess and then start back in, dude, it'll set you back.
Got it. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
But then, yeah, absolutely. But then here's another thing I don't want you guys to beat yourself up as well, is that you must understand that when you're trying to scale, it will be slower than if you were just grinding all the time. It will be slow because now you're just plugging people, you're training people, right? You're working on your business instead. So it's going to be a little slower than what you guys normally experience. And this is something where when people are trying to scale, they don't understand. Because you will take some step going backward, right? But eventually, once you have the systems, everything in place, it's going to take off like a rocket when you guys do take it to the next level.
Nice.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
All right. So once again, I want to say congrats to both of you. And dude, I'm super excited to see how things are going to go with you guys in 2024. So keep me posted.
Yeah, most definitely. No, I have to thank you. Had you not made that video, man, you changed my life.
And you changed my life too.
Thank you. I mean, coincidentally, as someone who sees you on social media, I know you're in another state. I know you're your own person far away, but you directly affected the entire trajectory of where my life has gone, where her life has gone, and it's just phenomenal.
I want to say, dude, thank you so much for the kind word. I truly appreciate you guys so much. Now, how can people connect with you two?
Instagram, and they can hit us up with questions, concerns, motivation. We'd be happy to speak with anyone. It's Lorenzo_Orozco RE on Instagram. And then mine is Yesenia_Estates.
Love it. So I want to leave you guys with this, and I want to ask you guys this questions. Are you, I know you got the wholesaling business going on and all that. Are you guys building your own personal brand and creating content?
She is better at that than I am.
So my Instagram is full of content. And then we're going to start working on his Instagram to get full of content as well.
Got it. But you guys are thinking about that, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
You guys are doing that, correct?
Yes.
Attempting to, yeah.
Because I can tell you guys right now, that is also going to be a multi-million-dollar business as well.
Okay.
If you focus on that. Going from 2024 on forward, the best thing that you guys can do right now is obviously build your wholesaling business, but you also got to build your personal brand on the side. Because if you're not starting right now, you're missing out on a ton of opportunities. Imagine if you start making a post and someone in your area say, hey, dude, I love what you guys do. I got a deal here. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Boom. Can you guys help me with this? Also, now you're getting free leads, free deals coming in, making money with everything. And also, too, is you guys ever get into, you guys want to raise money, to close on a fix and flip or to buy and hold. Like now you got a following that's like, hey, I really dig what you guys do. I trust you guys, because that's what social media is about. People do business with people they like and they trust. And if they watch you guys' content all the time, you guys are going to earn that and build that trust over time and have that reputation with them. So when you do have something, you make a pitch, then it's game over. Right. But the best thing that you guys can do is start building your own personal brand right now. I think it's got to be in that close to $1 trillion business, like personal brand wise, like the amount of money that an opportunity that it opens up for you. It's endless.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's what we're definitely going to start doing now.
Awesome. Once again, I appreciate you guys so much, and make sure you guys keep me posted. Okay.
Yeah, okay, most definitely.
Sure.
All right, guys, go ahead.
We get tagged. We tag you. How do we do it?
Yes. So basically, if you tag me on Instagram, then I'll reshare it.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
All right. Appreciate you guys. But before I let you go, let's what?
Let's go get this money, baby.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So for those of you who listen to me, if you're starting out, if you're new, whether you're new or maybe you have done 1 or 2 deals, but you're like, Khang, I want to take it to the next level. I really don't know where to do, what to do. If you want to work with me and my team, where we will help you build, grow, scale, and automate your wholesaling business. I've been at this I've been doing this for 12 years. And I got a team of 7 VAs. Once again, we're doing 7-figure a year. So I think I can help you out if you want to take it to the next level. Now, whether you want to make $10,000 a month or $100,000 a month, we can help you do that. Go to coachwithkhang.com, fill out short applications, book a call with my team, and let's see how let's go get this money together. 2024, you guys, until next time, take care and ciao.